So in this part we're going to care about boots of our car. There's few important things in the wheel or the tires rims area. First of all, it's important to know if the front and rear rims are different in the case of geometry. As you can see, the spokes of the front and the rear rims are exactly the same, just the rear rim is deeper. In case of mapping and texturing, that's nothing. You can map them as one part. You can map just front rim, move it back, and just adjust the position of few polygons to create the rear rim. Don't be an idiot and don't map rear and front tires rims, if they look like this. It will save you time if you will do just one rim, move it, and that will be all. Second, tires. If the tires, front and rear tires, have different profiles, by profiles I mean of course the height of the tire, etc. In here you can see that they are different. You have to do two textures for them. You can map them on one ID. That will be all. The rest of the things will be shown during the process. Let's start from the tires itself. Tires are pretty easy objects to map. So first, tire tread. Let's make the materials maybe first. Front tire side, front tire tread, rear tire side, rear tire tread. Why the treads are also separate? The width of the tires are different, totally different, and that means in the rain tire the pattern of the grooves probably will not be the same in both tires, so it's better to be secured with making two threads, and that will save the possible troubles. Now the thread. How to do the thread? The thread is pretty much done with the cylindrical gizmo. Fit them just so the thread become completely square. It's 8, alright. Now the tire side. Tire side is done with the planar gizmo. If the tire is done well enough, the tire side itself will become square. The gizmo will become the square. Front tire side. Now UVW editor. We have to fit the inner part of the rim inside the outer part. We don't have to really care about the stretching of the inner part. inner part is the part closer to the body of the car, closer to the center line of the car. Why we don't have to care? Because that kind of car, the inner part will be barely visible. But also we have to rotate the inner part. Why we have to rotate the inner part? We have to rotate inner part because we don't want the texture to be displayed backwards. Now we can use the symmetry tool, and again on the second tire, of the one that we create by the symmetry tool, we have to rotate it again, because of the same reason that we rotate the polygons of the inner side in the original tire. Now the texture will be written perfectly. The rear tires now, the same methods, the same thing we have to do. Alright, rear tire tread. Now the sides. As you can see, it pretty much fit one to another. Now let's pick the inner side. Symmetry tool, unwrap again. Select by polygon. And we have the tires done. We can attach them one to another, call them tires, and hide them. Now I will deal with the wheel cap. Why? Because as you could see in the tires, let's show them again. As you can see, there's a lot of space inside, and I'm going to fit the wheel cap inside of it. In the road car we usually fit rims inside of the tires, but in here we have wheel caps. As the photo says, they have commercial on it, so they have to be put on separate IDs. We are going to map one, use symmetry tool, and one part will be on the inside rear tire, second one will be inside the front tire. So let's start cranking with it. Pretty easy object to map, to be honest. Not going to spend a lot of time in this here. Just select everything. Hundred by 100. Doesn't matter what I leave for this moment. It's just unwrap. Move away the cap itself. Try to relax small objects. Done perfectly. Now we have to manually done. We would carry on with the wheel cap. And we are okay. We could try to fit those objects one to another, just overlap them. Well, let's not waste time on this small object. I'm pretty sure it will be plain metal, so it doesn't really matter. We fit that into the rear tire side. Why? Because in the rear tires there's a smaller amount of the space. Let's call it cap. Unwrap. Pick the ID9. Let's leave the screws inside. And now we have to place the small parts outside the tire mesh. Doesn't really matter the orientation, just fit them inside, and it will be more than enough. Alright, we'll We are done. Now we can move back to the cap, and that one will go to the rear tires, and that one will go to the front tires. You can now take a look. Sorry. Take a look how it looks. So front tire, as you can see, everything is fine. Rear tire also fine, so we can move on to the rim. I suggest to start with the front tire. Selecting everything from the side, mapping it with planar gizmo, of course square planar gizmo. Let's set it to ID 11, that will be rim. Now the inner part. Sorry. Also 11. Let's create that ID. Now we have to unwrap it. For a moment, let's move the cylinder up 2 points. That will be useful in the future. Now the center screw. Let's work on it a little bit. Right, the screw is done. As I remember, the rim has a small shelf in here. Now we have to rip off all the 90 degrees, all the polygons that are faced 90 degrees to the gizmo we used. So down, 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 scale it down, up, plus, 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 also down, and we are going further and further. Right, now the edges of the spokes, they also have to be done like we have done what we have done with the rest of the rim alloy Serra. As you can see, I'm once again preparing to use grow option. And the final spoke. And we are going to move it 1 point to the top. Pretty much done. We have to now fit the screw center locking knob into the rim. -1 to have it back. Collapse 2. And what we are going to do, we are going to select center locking knob and the rim alloy with spoke. We are leaving this cylinder inside. We are cloning it to the object. And by using the Z dimension and the Y dimension, of course I forgot to move it to the center of the object. Alright. Now we have to fit one rim into another, and to create that, it's pretty easy. Everyone is able to do it. Just selecting a few polygons. And we are moving the spokes deeper and deeper. Done. We can go back to the original rim. You can delete alloy and delete the center locking knob, and map the cylinder with the cylinder and the gizmo, of course. Fit, collapse, ID 11, unwrap it and move it 2 points up. Now we can attach the rear itself, the rim. And we can work on both rims at once. As you can see, rims are perfectly in place. Now this cylinder. This cylinder is nearly not visible, not possible to see it meanwhile the game. That means we don't have to really care about it. It can be stretched and it can be scaled down a lot. Doesn't really matter at all. Now let's attach it. Use the symmetry tool. Rename it to rims. Once again I had something that I didn't want to. Let's unhide cap, let's unhide tires. Everything is alright. Now the brakes. Brakes are usually pretty simple. In here, as you can see, we have planar, only one planar, without only disc without caliper. That's alright. Map it as square, completely square wheel. The really small texture for it. Now the second one. We also have a part of the wheel nut here, and it should be chassis. We will fit it somewhere just after we sculpt the inner part slightly. Actually, in most of the games, the brake discs will be connected to the rim and tire because they have to be rotated. They have to rotate during the game. But the other objects, like calipers, wheel hubs, etc. Those kind of objects can be not movable. Now let's deal with the wheel nut ID5. We have a space in here. We can move the antenna somewhere else. And well, we are done with the exteriors. Body is done, wheels are done, engine is done. You can pretty much see everything what's there. As you can see, next part to do will be interiors, high detailed or low detailed. I will explain that in another video.